love men.
I love men.
I love men.
I love men. I love men.
A mí me encantan los hombres.
I
love men.
Hi, my name is Lucia. I'm a dating and relationship expert. I've dated in 7 cities, 4 countries, and 2 continents, so I have a lot of knowledge to share with you. I have been on shows such as Dr. Phil, the CBS Early Show, the Tyra Banks Show, Entertainment, the KTLA News, or you may have heard me on Playboy Radio or Cosmo Radio. Welcome to more Women on Men. More women, more viewpoints and opinions, and also more subjects such as the cultural aspects like texting and twittering.
I would say the thing that turns me on the most in men is when they're passionate about something and they love talking about something that they're just so into. And so whether it's cars or boats or golf, I think it's cute, you know, when a guy just completely loves what it is that he does and gets so excited to talk to you about it.
What I love about men is basically their confidence. I like the strength of men. I don't know, I look at men as almost like a security thing. So I like the feeling of like if they hug me, you know, I like the feel of their arms, strong arms, and it's just, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's just something about them. I love it.
Somebody who's funny and who's the life of the party for me is normally who I'm attracted to.
Humor is such a turn on, and you know, if a guy's funny and can put a smile on your face.
I like it when guys are themselves around me. We can tell when you're not being yourself. We can so tell. So if you're goofy, be goofy. I love goofy guys. If you're smart, be smart. That's a great quality to have. If you're quirky, if you anything like that, don't be afraid to show off, you know, what your true personality is, you know. I like goofy, quirky, smart, funny, anything like that, as long as you're being yourself.
I also am really into scent. So if a guy smells really fresh and clean, that's just like almost automatically a total turn on for me. My roommates and I were actually just talking about how sometimes like guys have like a musty smell. I don't know. I don't know where that comes from, because it's almost like just by the end of the day you're kind of like, whoa, where did that come from? But if he maintains like a very fresh, clean smell, that definitely turns me on.
A guy who dresses nice. In fact, I like guys in suits, and if he's going to wear casual clothes, who doesn't like someone that looks well dressed? You know, even in casual clothes, you want to see them in something nice. You don't want them to look like they've just slept under the bridge last night.
We want that bad boy that's really bad boy on the outside and a good boy on the inside. So if you dress like a bad guy, you know, like the rocker t-shirts or whatever, I mean, everybody's different, but then you act like a gentleman at dinner or on your date or at home or no matter what you go on, we're going to flip head over heels for you.
I like the rebellious young buck, dangerous. I mean, they should have a sense of, you know, manners and upbringing and things like that. But, you know, I like very artistic temperaments. I don't know that they could be crazy enough, to tell you the truth. Want an adventure.
Women do like guys to have some money. Not that you want them for their money, but it's part of the fact of knowing that they're going to be able to take care of you and treat you right.
Why is it that guys will never stop and ask for directions? That's just crazy to me. Do you know how many times I have missed a movie, a dinner reservation, some family function because the guy has too much pride to pull over and ask for directions? Trust me, it is more important to us girls to actually get to the event in the evening rather than sitting in the car knowing that you don't know where you're going and you won't ask for directions. what is that? It's like a weird man thing, and I don't get it.
I hate machoism. I hate fighting.
Slowly over the course of the time that we were dating, I started noticing that he would put his phone on vibrate, that he wouldn't answer his phone calls, that he was just very, it wasn't like he was obvious about his change, but I just started noticing it.
When they're controlling, when they're telling you you need to do something different about your life, or you need to live differently, yeah, and getting angry if you don't do it.
I can't stand a man who wears no socks with loafers. I can't, like, that's my biggest pet peeve.
You can smell desperation, and it's a turnoff. I don't care how much you're attracted to it, it's a big turnoff.
We got in his car and went to eat somewhere. And everything was great until he really wanted to draw me, and then I, for 2 hours, listened to him talk about all of his near-death experiences and all of this crazy spiritual. I'm a spiritual person and I will go a long way, but it was just talk.
That's a huge turnoff for me when they try to, put the moves on you, or when they start spouting, oh, you're so beautiful, let me just stare into your eyes and let me just look at you, and I'm like, ew.
Them not making time for me at all, them, too focused on their career, or too focused on, their friends, and not being able to balance out everything. And like, as for me, I make time for, different areas of my life, like my career, my family, my friends, and hopefully a significant other.
I mean, there's a thing about nice guys where if they don't have that edge to offset the niceness, it makes them very bland. And it's, there should be vulnerability, there should be warmth, there should be a lot of things, but nice, it's certainly not very exciting, and it's much better suited to, somebody who's going to be a brother type or a friend or something like that.
It would be a pet peeve to me if a guy walks up to me, wears sunglasses and never takes them off while he's talking to me, unless I've already been with the guy for a while, I know what his eyes look like, I know him, then it would be okay. It's just, I wear sunglasses all the time outdoors, but if he's barely meeting you and getting to know you, it would bother me.
Bragging, really braggio-so, and that's a big turnoff.
One major turnoff for me about my relationship when he drank was he would drink till he would pass out. Or sometimes he would drink and he would just be gone for hours. Like if he was at a bar, he'll be gone for 4 or 5 hours.
So angry outbursts too, like out of nowhere, from the drinking.
Yeah.
I don't want them, to cross the line being cocky, arrogant, or cheesy.
If a guy has like a $10 an hour job, they're not going to, they need to improve themselves on that, because women are not going to hook up necessarily with someone who doesn't have that future being created. It's a very important factor, and I know that from a fact because I talk to a lot of girls behind closed doors. With friends and that, it comes up all the time.
If you wouldn't say it to your mother, you probably shouldn't say it to any other woman.
So how and where do you meet women? What is the best approach? As a dating expert, I get this question all the time. So let's hear what the women have to say.
Bars are probably not the best place to meet a girl. They're dark, loud, smoky, everyone's drunk, you can't hear what's going on. Not the best. I wouldn't advise it.
Girls tend to be a little more on the guard when they're out in the club because they know that the guys have come out to the club, the single guys especially, have come out to the club on the hunt to look for the girls, to drink, to get a catch.
There's a lot of social websites out there, Facebook, MySpace, in addition to the dating sites. It's really great. I have to say, I don't go on just to, I'm looking to date, but I'm also looking for somebody that has similar interests to me. Someone to hang out with and get to know. And there's a site, Potentials, that has pets. I have a cat and a rabbit. So to meet somebody that that's actually something that's very important to me, to have someone that loves animals. And it's actually really cute because it's the animals on the website. So you can kind of meet people that way. And it's kind of a nice way to write a blurb about your pet, and you can see people's personalities that way through their animals.
Speed dating is definitely something I would recommend looking into. You can meet a few good ones, but it will end up being interesting no matter how you look at it. You're meeting people, you're meeting them fast.
If somebody that you know and you trust has introduced you to a person, that puts that person, that guy, leaps and bounds above other guys, because you know that you trust your friend, and that if there were ever any problem, well, you probably wouldn't even be a problem, because you get to choose your friends, and I'm sure they're selected.
Personally, I've met the most guys that I've been interested in either in college or at work.
I would definitely suggest meeting someone while volunteering for an organization that you enjoy helping with. I think that it is probably the best way to meet someone that shares your passions.
All of a sudden, you get 40 different emails in a day from random boys that know nothing about you except what you look like and maybe some high points and your favorites about what I like to do in movies and music, and they're asking me out non-stop. And it's not cute little, hi, I'd like to take you out for coffee, or let's go to the student union and have lunch. Never. It's always really inappropriately awkward, and I don't understand that. I don't understand how boys can get so much courage on the internet. I don't get it. I mean, it got so bad to the point where I had to change my location, I changed my birthday, I changed my relationship status to married, just so people, when they were searching for people, they would just leave me alone. I don't get it.
I'm not on online dating because I feel like that I don't know them, and they have great opportunities to lie about themselves, about what they do, their age, financial resources, everything, and I feel like that, that's where people make fantasies, and I don't go on there.
But what I do think is valid is if there's a boyfriend or a girlfriend from your past that you hope will try and find you and you reconnect because your lives went a different direction at some point. It's a good starting point to reconnect with people.
Match.com I like better because I'm able to go through and find guys and read their profiles. And I really like the humorous ones, actually. That appeals to me. Someone that's like, quirky, or, as opposed to going, I do this, I do that, this is my job. But they write a little something so you get a feel of who they are.
She met somebody on Match.com and they ended up getting married. My old roommate started going on eHarmony and started going out on dates with guys from eHarmony.
Something to look at on the social networking sites, Facebook, MySpace, is if the person is single and looking for somebody, because you can list on there if you're single or if you're just looking for friends or looking to meet people. And I think that's a great way for a guy to, if he's interested in someone, that to shoot off an email. Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm a friend of so-and-so. We have this in common, or something. I would be okay with that. Absolutely. Another way to meet somebody.
People like to put pictures of blossoming lotus flowers on their page. What is that gonna do? You're not gonna, okay, so I know what your soul looks like now,
I think the biggest advice I could give to somebody, or a man, when dating, is to be yourself. To be honest, and I have to say in online dating, the biggest thing, the biggest pet peeve of mine is not having a picture up. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I delete those immediately. I don't have the time to, you can be a great, wonderful person, but there is a lot to say about attraction. So that's the hugest thing. And then back to the pictures, put an actual picture of what you look like now. I don't want to see pictures of your dog, and I mean, that's nice too, but if that's all there is, your dog, your house, your car, that doesn't impress women, so much. We want to know you, who you are.
And if there's a picture on their profile of like 6 dudes getting wasted, that says a lot. It probably says a lot more than you meant to say. First of all, I don't know which one you are, so that doesn't really help me here. And then I have to go through and pick out through all your pictures, like, okay, if this guy is in all of the pictures, so it must be him. Just put a nice, good-looking photo up there. If you really want to meet a girl, put a good-looking photo. Your best foot forward. And not when you're wasted. I don't need to see pictures of you pouring it down your chest.
He had like a picture of this, it was like a thumbnail picture of him with like several other people, and I couldn't even tell who he was and which one, was this him? I can't even remember what he looks like. You need to have just a normal sized photo of your face.
You don't know these people. I mean, for all you know, it could be a 300-pound, 70-year-old man, and he's putting up this picture of some really hot guy.
Don't do one of these with like the camera phone and the mirror, and then you with your 6-pack and your handles or whatever. That's so gay. I hate it when guys do that. I hate it when bodybuilders, or if you think you're hot, you have to like take a picture of yourself in the bathroom with like the great lighting and the camera phone or your regular and you can see the camera in the mirror sometimes too in the flash. It's so retarded.
I prefer 5 years older than me or 5 years younger. I tend towards the older, but sometimes there's younger ones that are more mature. And I really like that to be respected. I get some guys that are 10 years older than me that will shoot me an email, and I'm just not interested in dating my grandpa or my dad. So if somebody's like 7 years older, then and we have common interests, then I don't mind so much. But 10 and 15, no, I need that to be respected. Just because, you know what you like and you know what you're interested in and what you're attracted to.
Some of the social sites that have a way of tracking you, or you broadcasting, little things that you're doing, going to the movies, or, I'm stopping at a cafe, that kind of thing. In some aspects that might be fun, but especially as single women, you have to be really careful about who you're actually sending all these text messages out to.
Sending roses or opening doors, and just showing that it's nice to be around you and paying a lot of attention. These are good things.
The whole bad manner thing is a really big subject to be aware of when you're taking a girl out on a date.
I actually told somebody one time because they would constantly text me, and I even knew that this guy had a girlfriend, and he would constantly text me in like the middle of the night, and I told him to lose my number and stop calling me and texting me because I would never go out with him. What are you doing? Like, he wouldn't take no for an answer, And then why am I supposed to trust, like, if you ever break up with your girlfriend and I go out with you, how am I ever supposed to trust you that you're not going to do the same thing, to me? You can't. I mean, that's just, you're setting yourself up.
I prefer to text as opposed to talking on the phone, because I just feel like it's more concise. I don't like to have long conversations, and so you can kind of just say what you need to through text.
If you want to send me a text that says, I'm going to call you later, great, but then call me later. But over and over and over again, it's probably why I'm not answering, because I know that it's scary to have to call somebody. I know I don't want to be rejected either, but texting sends out a signal that you're scared, and nobody wants to date that guy. They want somebody that just shows a lot about, what's going to happen when I need to be protected from something.
Most guys just text me. They never call me on the phone. I don't know. I think it's maybe because they have a girlfriend or they're in the other room. I mean, sometimes I'll get these guys that will text me and I'll call them and they won't answer the phone. They'll just continue to keep texting me. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe a girl's in the room. Maybe they have a girlfriend and they're under the covers, texting me like, oh no, I gotta go. Like, Yeah, I think texting is really impersonal.
You know, I do think it's completely disrespectful to text somebody, you know, after 10 p.m., you know? To me, if you're trying to date me and you're texting me after 10 p.m., then, you know, that's a booty call. And I'm not down for that, you know? And when somebody does it even at like midnight, 1 a.m., then I really get disturbed, because if it disturbs my sleep, then, you know, that's just completely uncalled for.
Part of building a chemistry and the girl trying to figure out if she really wants to go out with you or what your personality is like is by talking on the phone. So I don't know where that went, but I get really, really frustrated with guys, and I'll often stop even contacting them if they're texting me too much, because I think people use that as a way to not talk on the phone, because they're afraid to, or whatever the reason, I don't know. Or like if I call you and I leave a voicemail and you text me back, oh my God, that is the biggest turnoff. Then I know that you're too scared to pick up the phone and call me, and that says a lot about your personality, and probably have lost you the date by that time.
They should put their names at the end of the text.
Put their name or refer to something that is specifically leading to them,
Right.
like wherever you met them. Or
That would
whatever they
remind
said.
us who they were.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying too when you're just starting to see somebody, if you know they constantly are catching you online, especially during work hours, because you know it makes me think this person has nothing better to do during their day, and they don't have a real job if they have time to constantly IM me during the day when I'm working. So for me, that's a big no. You can't be constantly IMing me every second.
If there's a guy that I have just started dating and he calls me 4 or 5 times and leaves a bunch of messages while I'm perhaps at the beach with my family or friends, I think that's too much. And that would definitely scare me away. I probably would never talk to the guy again just for doing that once.
A huge pet peeve of mine is when people call me and they don't identify themselves within 5 to 10 seconds of the phone call starting. I think it's the polite thing to do to say, hey, this is so-and-so, and, you know, how are you? And not just, you know, try to make a guess.
I feel like I love hearing the human voice, and with all this text messaging and twittering, and no one speaks to each other anymore, and it feels like there's like a cutoff, and you're not really feeling someone's intentions. I mean, what you say over a text message could have a totally different, you know, connotation when you say it over the phone and actually hear the person saying it. So I think a guy should definitely call, you know, and once, especially for the first date, call to set up the date, you know, call to follow up and you know, make sure everything's okay. Maybe around like 3rd date or so, then you can use like a text message or something to be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? Maybe we should meet up. But definitely not on the first date. You need to call and make sure everything's clear from the first date.
The best thing that he could do is approach me gradually. Guys that come on too fast, I've never been interested in. I'm the kind of girl that really likes my space.
In order for a guy to get my phone number, I don't think that's the first question he should ask me. I think, you know, you should just talk to me casually, you know.
I'm going to make an opinion about you in 5 seconds. 5 seconds, that's all I need to get an opinion of you. Those 5 seconds are crucial. Do not look at my breasts. Do not look at my ring finger to see if I'm married. Do not look at my bottom. Do not do anything in those 5 seconds that will creep me out.
Okay, the best way to approach girls is just coming up and talking about what we're doing. If we're at work, talk about work, or if we're at the, you know, in public shopping, talk about, you know, deals or sales or whatever. You know, just simple things.
Yeah, I think it's good for a guy to come up and say hello, but I don't think it's good for them to be too pushy if they don't know you. I think they should keep the conversation very simple and
non-threatening.
Right, non-threatening.
Nothing over the top or overly.
Well, I've had this discussion with, you know, several of my other very attractive girlfriends, and we're very nice people. I don't feel like I'm intimidating, but But all I can assume is that maybe they assume that we have boyfriends. But I mean, I'm at the bar. I'm probably single. So, you know, it's worth a shot at least. If I'm not, I'll just tell you. And that's actually, to me, that's the easiest kind of rejection. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. Like, it's nothing against you at all. So you shouldn't have to take it personally.
Sometimes the hottest girl in the class or at the party that never gets asked to dance or to go out because the guy thinks she's so hot. Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, she's so tall. Oh, she's so outgoing. And so they don't want to approach her because he thinks that she won't respond. Sure enough, we will respond more so than you think because we want to talk, we want to dance, we want to go out too, but if nobody asks us, then we'll never get there. So guys, you got to step up to the plate. It's good. Approach us.
I think if you're at a party, the best way to approach someone you don't know is hopefully maybe you have a mutual friend or the person that's throwing the party that can possibly introduce you to that person. Yeah, it's kind of scary to just go up not knowing the person and everything. So it's good if you have a mutual person in between.
Yeah, and if you don't have a mutual person in between, I guess come up and maybe offer them, I don't know, a drink, or if they can get them something, or at a party, is anything you need.
Yeah,
just again, simple, easy, non-threatening.
Compliment something very specific. Don't do the general, oh, you have beautiful eyes or great hair or something. Find something very specific, because it shows that you're not just walking up to any girl.
Everybody is different, and that's really hard for a guy, because when you don't know this person, you have absolutely no idea what they respond to. I mean, I think that it would be a good thing to be kind of a detective. Watch the girl for a while. See how she's moving, see what she's drinking, what is she wearing. I mean, if she's wearing, a stripper top as opposed to a business suit, you're not going to go up to the girl the same way. If she's a lady, then you treat her like a lady. That's your approach. It should go that way. So it should match whatever it is you're trying to attract. But less is always more.
Nothing too personal, I guess. I wouldn't want somebody coming up and asking me personal questions without knowing me first. And if they're really interested, I'd appreciate them giving me their phone number and not asking for mine, because I don't know them. So, that pretty much puts the ball in my court. And if I am interested in getting to know them better, I can call them. If that makes sense.
Okay, I'm kind of old-fashioned. I prefer that they get my number and call me, because I feel like if they're going to put in the effort, it'd be better, because I usually don't like to make the first move, and I think calling is making the first move, even though they actually gave me their number first and they came up to me first.
Another approach that I just thought was so sweet and wonderful, I was at the farmer's market one day and just buying my vegetables and everything, and then I put them in my car and I went to a yoga class. And when I came out, there was a note on my windshield, and it was really sweet. It just said, I saw you at the market. I was afraid to come up and talk to you, but now I regret that. I just wanted to say you're very beautiful, yada, yada, yada. And left their email address. And number one, it just made my day. And so I emailed the guy and said, thank you. And then we just sort of started emailing back and forth, and eventually met up, exchanged phone numbers and met up for dinner, and it was really nice. But it was very non-threatening, and wasn't creepy at all. I think the judgment there is if you feel creepy doing it, it's probably going to be received as creepy.
Older women, we're all married. We've got children, we've got a husband. We look like we're doing well in life, and it's an assumption. If you're at a party or, we want you to ask. We would like you to come and say, hey, are you married? Do you have kids? Or it would be fine to say, are you dating someone? Show some interest. It's like, if you're interested, don't let it go. And then when you get home, say, oh, God, I wish I had asked. Now what? The chance is gone. We all go through that. The guys and the gals.
You can meet the hottest guy on the planet, and you can meet him in a bar, and he can walk up and offer to buy you a drink, and he could be gorgeous. And you can talk to him for 5 minutes, and think he's the ugliest person on the planet just because he's so skeezy, so gross. But then you can have somebody that's just the average Joe that'll offer to buy you a drink, and maybe at first glance you'll be like, oh, okay, you're nice, thank you for the drink, and move on. But given 5 minutes talking to that guy, he could be the cutest boy you've ever seen. And it's just, it doesn't matter, at least to me, which way you come up. If you're going to be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Or hey, do you want to dance? As long as you're not doing the, oh, I'm going to graze her with my hand while I try and peer around her bar stool.
And if we meet a guy at a party, we often come home later and we'll say to each other, that guy was gorgeous. You know, I really wanted to get to know him. And we'll ask each other, well, why did you talk to him? And they'll say, no. My friend will say no, and she'll ask me, and I'll say no. And it's like, we kick ourselves. Why didn't we go up to them? Why didn't we get the information? And then you think, well, why didn't the guy come and ask too? You could see they like you. We're making the same mistakes.
It's like, come up, don't say anything. See if I'm interested just by my body language. Get close enough that I'm not going to be creeped out, but do I turn and look at you? Do I look like there's any chemistry at all? And be smart enough that if there isn't any chemistry, walk away. Because if you walk away, you actually get a second shot. Because if I think that you're not interested or attracted to me, then all of a sudden, even if I wasn't initially attracted to you, you're getting my attention because, well, wait, what's wrong with me? And it's a game. I know it's a game, but it's, I advise that.
What's really nice is if somebody isn't too pushy and they kind of show their interest and then walk away, and then the girl will have the opportunity to get herself together, not feel uncomfortable or put on the spot, and then if she's interested, she'll walk over to you.
Being able to have a decent conversation with someone, I'd really like to let the guys know that if we meet at a party, or if you meet someone at a party, and if you're going to give me a yes or no answer, you can't talk to me about current affairs, we can't discuss what's happening in the world, and maybe a bit of global politics that's going to affect our planet. If we can't get beyond a yes or a no answer, then we're not going to get anywhere. It's really important to have some idea of the world, something to talk about, to maybe improve yourself on those areas. Because women, in a lot of cases, like that.
Well, I used to be married, and when I got divorced, it was kind of hard because you're not used to the dating scene again. I think in the beginning, after you get over your marriage, you're kind of happy to start going out. But then it's so disappointing because you get all excited about the new dates after a divorce and going out and all of that. And then you find out that there isn't that many guys that you have things in common with. And what a lot of guys talk, I'm not very much about talking about my past. So a lot of guys, they will start talking about their ex-wife or their ex-girlfriends. And it's just like, no thanks. I don't, that's no way for a second date.
It's okay to ask, do you have children? That would be a good way to lead into maybe finding out. And then the woman might volunteer that, well, my husband and I had 2 children, but we're divorced now, or whatever. Any way that, will spark that response.
Guys, rejection is not failure. There could be a number of things going on in her life at that time why she can't give you the phone number or go out with you. She could be seeing someone. It could be a number of things. Rejection is not failure. Keep getting out there. Keep introducing yourself, saying hello to people, meeting people. Rejection is not failure.
Good first date for me would be meeting for coffee. It's very casual. There's not a lot of pressure. It gives me a chance to be able to get to know the guy. It's one-on-one, with not a lot of people around. And, you don't know if you like the person enough. So that's your way out also is, you meet at a coffee shop and then you can leave.
Like the perfect first ideal date to me is definitely has to be somewhere where there's not a whole lot going on around you to take your attention away from what the reason is. And for the most part, a first date is about getting to know that other person, right? So you don't want to go to the movies, you don't want to go to a club. I mean, first date, like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. You want to get to know the person.
Fair or merry-go-round or something like that is a perfect date, because anything that can take you back to being a child, it makes you innocent and you just want to have fun. So I think anything that's oriented towards having fun and just enjoying, I mean, those are things that you want to enjoy someone's company doing. So I mean, if you're at one of the most fun places and you're not having fun with the person, I think that's an indicator that they're not the right one for you.
I like it when a date's planned. But I like it when they plan it for me. Not to say, okay, well, let's go to dinner at this restaurant and then let's go watch this movie and it's a man movie. I'd rather it be like, okay, well, you know what, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to have planned. Like, don't ask me, what movie do you want to watch? Oh, I don't care, you can pick anything. No, you pick anything. No, you pick anything. Like, all right, seriously? Somebody pick something.
I personally prefer to meet a guy in a public place. I've had 2 incidents where I had a man say that he would not meet me in the public place, and he actually accused me of being too old-fashioned and told me I need to get with the times and grow up. I, in return, said I have gotten with the times and grown up, which is why you are not coming to my house. I mean, it's so much that's going on. For me, my home is my safe haven. If I have a horrible date or feel like the guy is just kind of cuckoo on the date, I want to be able to go to my house and know that he has no clue where I live and I don't have to see him again unless by chance we bump into each other. But I am definitely for meeting in a public place.
Okay, so when it comes to blind dating, I would definitely say to stick within your area, just because you never know what kind of people are out there, women or men, and you can come across some crazies, or you can come across people that you really don't connect with, but then you are very far away from home because you wanted to go try to date this person. So I definitely wouldn't recommend that, but I definitely recommend trying here wherever you locally live.
They asked me out for tea, which I thought was actually very original because nobody ever says that.
That would definitely impress a girl if you take her to the zoo. Like, so what are we doing today? Well, I actually made us sandwiches and packed us a lunch and we're gonna go to the zoo. A girl would never expect that.
But I get dinner more than a movie, because a movie you can't talk.
Right.
Because, yeah, you got to get to know
And if you go to the movie first, you can converse about it at dinner and talk about what you liked about the movie, so. I actually like to do the movie first.
To a park or going to the beach for a first date or a Malibu hike, someplace that maybe they know that I've never been to, just with a little bit of, egging on, asking if, hey, have you ever been here? Let's do this. Just to have a few, like a handful of things that are different that would make them stand out against the normal dating guy would be great.
If you're in a big city, there's plenty of things that you can do that actually don't cost very much money. If it's a first date and you don't feel comfortable cooking at someone's apartment and you'd rather meet in a public place, then there's all kinds of music events and theater events and all sorts of things that don't cost anything. And you can bring your own picnic, which making your own food is always great. And you can, the park, the beach, any kind of outdoor activity, those are always wonderful. It doesn't always have to involve food and drink. It's just, you're really looking for good time with a person and just making a connection and really getting to know each other. And that doesn't cost anything.
Definitely something not to do out on a date with me would be to eye other women or expect that I'm gonna pay. I was in line at I had a craving actually for a Blizzard at the Dairy Queen, and I just assumed that he was gonna pay for it because it was our first date, and we went in there and he stood at the counter with me, and when they told me how much I owed, he just kind of stepped aside, and I realized I was paying for it. It was the last date.
When you go on dates sometimes with boys you don't know, some will be awful. Some will start slowly about your life and then get really personal on the first date. Like, tell me about your ex-boyfriends, or like sexual this and that. And it's just really awkward. You know, how many people have you been with? Tell me about your old. On a first date? Really? No. No.
So a couple of topics when you're talking to a female on your date to stay away from is definitely religion and politics. Even if you're Muslim and they're Christian, even if you're Jewish, it doesn't matter. You are interested in that person, and so you don't want to throw them off by attacking their religion or any kind of politics going on, just because a lot of people feel a lot of different ways about politics, and it has nothing to do with your date and you enjoying that person's company, and that can only kind of bring a damper on the date. So I'd stay away from definitely those two.
I think it's very creepy when you just meet a guy and he's right away asking to take you out of town and you've only met him once.
I hate it when you're going for the last wing and then they snatch it first. You go, really? I might be a girl, but I like to eat.
If I'm out on a date with him, and even if it's just a side glance, another woman walking by, that is really irritating and annoying to me.
Or when they get too close or like start putting their hands on like your leg and you just know when they're not interested in being a boyfriend and all they want to do is pay for your dinner and then go back home. Not cute.
What I hate on a date is if the guy has his cell phone on and the cell phone keeps ringing and he talks on the phone most of the time. So no cell phones on the date.
God, if that ever happened to me and somebody if it happened to me, I'd walk out. It's like the worst thing you could do. It's like, how insulting can you be that you're choosing to spend this time that you've orchestrated, that you asked me out on, and you're going to take a business call, you're going to talk to somebody else, God forbid. You know, it's like texting under the table or something like that. It's just this, it's never happened to me, but it better not.
Good dates for boys? When they're just such gentlemen. You know, when you can actually have a conversation with someone and you don't have to worry about them, you know, pawing you or coming into your own personal space on a first date. And then a couple dates later, of course, like, move forward, but move forward sweet and cute.
Neither of you know whether to give each other a goodnight kiss or what to do. I would always say that it's always better to go for something, but, you know, be a gentleman. Don't be afraid. We're not going to bite.
Ending first dates are always weird, and it's always because it's different for everybody. I'm not going to kiss somebody that I didn't have a great date with or feel that connection with. But a boy, if they pay attention, they can always tell. Hey, I went on this date with this one guy. Poor boy. He went in for the kiss, and I put my head down. So, you know, and it was so awkward. I put my head down, and he, like, reached around like he was trying to chase my face. And I remember just thinking, it got finally to the point where I was like, okay, have a nice night, and had to pull back. It should never get that far. If you go in and a girl puts her head down or backs up, dude, just high five her and go on your way. But if she's like looking at you, like full on looking at your face and standing there and saying something that really doesn't make sense for the moment, go in for the kiss because she's waiting for it. You know, just feel the moment.
Go slow, and maybe, you know, you can even ask. You know, it's not so stupid to ask, and it's not. A girl will appreciate that a lot of times and may think it's cute.
Because she'll let you know when she's ready. And he doesn't call, then I think, you know, I think it's a jerk move, and I just move on and, you know, don't waste my time anymore.
Yeah, I think, you know, waiting a couple days and checking in is definitely a good idea, especially, you know, if you can tell that the girl is really into you. Follow up with her. If you really like her and you want to go out again, you should be following up. You should be working for it, you know? If a guy calls you back for a second date after a really, really good first date, an appropriate thing would be just to say, you know, hi, how you doing? I had a great time last time. I hope you did too. And this way he can kind of test the waters to make sure that you also, you know, enjoyed the first date. And if he can, you know, sense that you indeed did enjoy the first date, then he can proceed to say, well, I was thinking, you know, if you have some free time this weekend we can maybe go out again. Anything like that. As long as he's not assuming that because he thought it was a great date, the girl also thinks it's a great date. And as long as he's not too pushy and too desperate, like tomorrow, right away. As long as she doesn't smell that kind of too much urgency, he'll be okay.
I love it when they call the next day. And that's because you really know that they're really interested in you. If they can't wait the typical 3 boy days, then dude, you have somebody that really is into you. And that's what a girl wants. A girl wants somebody that's gonna show that they care, but isn't overly soul-sucking.
I think having dinner at someone's house would be cool. Like you both sit and make a dinner together. I think that's fun. It's kind of romantic, and I know I enjoy cooking, and if someone enjoys eating, it's perfect. So I think a second date, that's a good one, and then maybe watch a movie afterwards or something.
I still have the picture of the little Italian restaurant cafe, Trattoria or something like that, in the middle of a little quaint German town. It was in Heidelberg, and it was amazing. This musician came by with a fiddle and actually played a song for us, and he bought me a rose and a little tiny ceramic cat that I still have in my bathroom. So very, very memorable date, very sweet. Didn't try anything and just wanted to get to know me as a person, as a woman. So
girls and guys are built differently, and guys want to get right down to it. They don't need much and they're ready to go. Women, we need our motor revved up a little bit. So it's extremely important to foreplay, the kissing, the hugging, the snuggling, the touching. That's really a must.
It just heightens everything because you're so all of your senses are so heightened, touch, taste, smell, everything, that it's so much more intense.
I definitely would identify myself as the kinesthetic type. I love touch.
Bites on my neck and on my shoulders and the back of my neck, and pretty hard. I mean, it almost feels like melting, like my body becomes limp because it feels so amazing. But I can't take those bites anywhere else on my arms, and people have tried and it is painful. But I also like kisses down my back because, like I said before, my back is a sensitive area. So don't bite me on my neck and then give me kisses all down my back. Then it's, man.
The erogenous zone on my neck is a huge turn on for me.
When someone breathing there, it feels good. Say that my neck is an erogenous zone. I'm very ticklish, so it's super, super sensitive, If you do it wrong, then I'm laughing, screaming, I can't take it. But if you do it right, it's a whole other sort of screaming.
I'm a sucker for kisses, but my number one thing are hand massages. I know, it's weird, but hand massages are, I don't know what, but it's so comforting, and just getting your hand, just your fingers and your palms and your wrist, your entire body just feels so much better. I don't know why, I can't explain it. Give me a 5-minute hand massage and a good makeout session. Whew.
Sometimes you don't even know that a certain place is an erogenous zone. So if the guy is taking it slow and maybe caressing your shoulders or caressing a certain place on your inner thigh or something like that, you might be like, oh, I didn't know I like that, and so it can kind of make you, this guy's he's good. He's taking it slow. He's trying to learn me. He's trying to please me, because I think that's the main thing. A girl wants to feel like she's desired, just like a man does. He wants to feel desired. I'm sure men want to feel desired. We want to also, don't want to necessarily be viewed as just an object or another, notch on the bedpost. We want to feel like it was something meaningful, even if it wasn't. At least make us think it was.
Behind the ears, either touching there or kissing there, putting your hands in my hair. That's always really, really, really nice. And even just, a light massage would be really nice. Just caressing arms. Nothing too big, but touching is very, very good. But even non-sexual touching, because it's comforting, but also erotic in its own way.
I really like my ears to be played with. So, you know, how would a guy find out? You know, I guess there's a lot of things that the girl should consider letting the guy know. But if the guy were to ask, what do you really like? And, you know each other by now. What really turns you on? I think each person has something that really does. But if you don't say it or you don't ask, you know, you might end up never getting to that point.
I know what I want and what I need, so I will go for it, which makes the experience much more better for both of us, for the guy and for me. Everybody gets what they need.
The kind of girl that wants, I'll say it again, her ass thrown up against the wall and wants a more aggressive style of, you know, engagement is gonna have a different set of rules for the woman that wants to, you know, rose petals leading to the bedroom.
He was always very gentle and wanted to take the time to rev my engine up and get me to that point where I just was literally begging for him. But I literally, at times when, you know, you just want to just the whole animal thing and you just want to go at it, and I had to beg him at times to do that. You know, forget about the whole hour, 4 hours, 5 hours, just like you just don't even have enough time and it's just a quickie. And he just literally, I had to just drag him and just beg him to do that.
A lot of guys get like that, you know, like little boys, because they know they're about to get something. It's like a dog, not to compare men to dogs, because there is no comparison, but like a kid who's about to get a treat, they get very excited. I think it's really cute, actually.
Well, when they drink a lot and they pass out, of course they can't do anything in the bedroom because they're passed out. So it's not very fun.
Absolutely. If someone drinks a ton, eventually their bedroom skills are just going to completely go downhill, and it's pretty noticeable when you're in a relationship.
I mean, it's so, more often than not, we fake it, I think.
I think a lot of women fake it. I think we all have done it, saying we haven't.
But see, that goes to the pleasing thing. But that's one of those weird things that don't change even when you get, you know, outside of your 20s. There's still an obligation, I think, that women feel to, once the man has taken care of himself, you want to make him feel a little victorious. That's awful to say it that way, but you conquered the day. I'll give you the fake orgasm.
It's the easy way out.
Guys, when you start having sex with a guy for the first time, when you begin a new sexual relationship, a guy's body adapts to me, and he sweats a lot at first. It seems like he sweats buckets and buckets until he's at a point where he's at my temperature. I've just noticed that. I think it's really interesting, actually, where because it's happened a few times where he'll literally, like, the pillowcase will be soaking, and but it's not like that every single time. It's like the first few times until his body has adapted to mine, I think.
If it's a Friday or Saturday night, that's a way different can of worms than if it's Sunday through Thursday. Because in all likelihood, the woman that you're with has obligations the next day, and, you know, there should be a lot of thought from the guys that, you know, what if I just assume that I'm staying over, what impact is this going to have, you know, what's her next day going to be like? So, and I don't think there should ever be a situation where it's like, yeah, I got to go. I mean, it'd be smoother than that. It's like, you know, I know that you have a big day tomorrow, you've got a meeting, or you've got whatever it is, you know, offer to leave.
They date these jerk of guys because sometimes it's low self-esteem, sometimes girls are terrified of being alone.
I think a lot of girls stay in relationships they shouldn't be in because of issues they have with themselves. They're insecure and not really sure what they would do without this person, or, you know, without anyone, and probably scared that it's going to be really difficult to find another great guy. I think it's really unfortunate. I think it's really unfortunate that a lot of girls do that, because it's not really them. It's a very closed off, really insecure woman that they will become, and that's not good for them. It's not good for who they're dating. It's not good for anybody.
My last boyfriend did certain things that I just was like, hell no. One, you cannot talk to me that way. You know, he had a filthy mouth on him, and I would constantly tell him that you cannot talk to a woman that you're in love with that way. I don't care if you're from Boston and you have a bad mouth and you're rough around the edges. You know, you need to learn how to be a man, and a man doesn't speak that way to the one he loves, you know? I just don't believe that, and if you are gonna be like that the rest of your life, then I won't be a part of it. I wanted, you know, touch in our everyday time together, not just, you know, in bed. But he was just the opposite kind of person. He felt embarrassed in public to, you know, hold you too much, or, you know, express his or her his affection in a physical way in public, and that was a big problem between us, and that was a long-term relationship that ended, and to a big for a big reason because of that.
I definitely say to stay in the relationship, keep variety. Last guy that I dated, all he ever wanted to do is eat sushi at his house watching cable, and I'm not someone who you have to always wine and dine. I'm actually a homebody, so it doesn't bother me to be home sometimes, but every single time, that's not fun.
Unfortunately, it is not always about what a guy does or does not do that keeps them in a long-term relationship with you successfully. Sometimes it could be all about timing, you know, the right time, the right place, the right things going on in both of your lives. You know, your schedules fit perfectly, or almost. You have, you know, similar interests at the time. Just circumstances fall in place for that relationship to keep going, and these circumstances do not always necessarily include the guy doing all the right things.
It's good for guys to know that women do like to feel appreciated with these tiny little things, but they like it all the time. You know, we do like that to be kept alive, because when it starts to go, that you don't notice we've changed our hair color, or we've done, you know, something nice with the kitchen table with a new tablecloth, we do notice that, and you know, it is upsetting to us. So I think guys do have a lot of problems with not realizing that we like these little treats to carry on. You know, like a rose here, or a little peck on the cheek, or to take us out, not to let things get stale.
Thank you so much for watching more Women on Men. Hope you learned a lot and that you found it very interesting. And before we end, we would like to show you a very compelling and shocking story that I think will help you better understand what it is women go through when they're dating.
Okay, so I have a girlfriend that her daughter went on spring break to Panama City. And she was at, you know, a nightclub, and she was talking to this really good-looking guy. And, you know, they're hitting it off, and, you know, they start making out. And so he invites her, you know, to come to his place. And she's like, no, I don't really know you. So he's like, okay, you know, but I really like you. And she's like, no, I don't really know you. So she goes home. The next day she wakes up and she has a ring around her mouth, and it's a really red blister. It's starting to blister. So she goes to the doctor, and, you know, he takes a look at it. He takes some like samples of it. And she gets a phone call the next day, and he's like, you need to come inside. You need to come into my office. She's like, well, what's wrong? Like, what is this red blistery ring around my mouth? And he's like, you just need to come inside. Come to my office. And she's like, okay. So she gets to the office, and he's like, what have you been doing? And she's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. He's like, have you been doing anything with anybody? And, you know, she didn't really want to say what she was doing. She's like, well, yeah, you know, I kind of was making out with this guy that I didn't know. And she's like, well, what is this? There's a ring around my mouth. And he said, well, you only get that from somebody who eats human flesh. And she, you know, freaked out. She went home with her mother. They told, you know, the detective she had to go back to Panama City and try to find this guy because obviously he frequents, you know, these bars finding women. Well, the detectives ended up going to his house and they found like the cadavers of women in his fridge. And, you know, obviously he eats these dead women. He eats these women and then she would have been his next meal had she gone home with him.
I did have a really strange date where a guy took me out and he had a very flashy car, and it was one of these typical Hollywood stories where, you know, he's like egging people on next to him and trying to drive faster and scoot in and out of traffic, and I thought I was gonna die, especially when we're up at Mulholland and he was, you know, passing people on Mulholland. It was ridiculous. He was just trying to show off. And at the end of the date, you know, I tried to keep my cool because I didn't know this guy that well, and I figured it'd probably be smart for me to, you know, kind of remain level and play everything cool until we got to the end of the date. And at the end, he basically told me that he was upset that I was wearing jeans and that the next date I had to wear a skirt. And I was like, are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? And I just ended up losing it. We got into this huge fight. I ended up crying because I couldn't believe how badly he like made me feel. And I was fresh off the boat, you know, moved into LA, had gone out with this guy, and, you know, I couldn't believe it. I was just completely, you know, and he kept calling me and texting me and like, you better be ready tomorrow at this time because I'm picking you up. And I, you know, was like calling people and like, yeah, thank God I had a gate, you know, around my apartment complex because I was kind of scared for my life at that point when, you know, he kind of got crazy like that. It was really, really insane.
We're like, great, let's go out on the first date. He invited me. I was so excited. We went out, saw a movie. Everything was going great. And then he pulls up to Circle K. I thought he was taking me home. He pulls up to Circle K and I'm like, oh, what do you need? Gum? And he's like, oh no, I'm gonna get condoms. And I was like, excuse me? Yes. So then I was like, you can get condoms, but you can drop me off home after that and, you know, go out and, you know, peruse the condoms somewhere else.
We went to dinner one night. It was a very quick dinner, and we were talking about going hiking. So we agreed, you know, in a couple days we would drive out to go hiking in Malibu, and it was gorgeous. And on the way we stopped, we got sandwiches and a picnic to eat, and we got, you know, halfway through. Here we go, and it's this amazing, beautiful hike, and it's gorgeous. It's one of the most incredible times I've ever had. And then we eat our lunch, and then we're going to hike back to the car, and we get lost. I'm positive we're lost. He claims we're not. And then we start, you know, hiking through where there's not even really a trail, and it's full of thorn bushes, and I'm getting cut up. He's just gone way ahead of me. I'm pretty sure at this point that he's either gonna leave me out here to die or, you know, kill me himself. And I'm bleeding and I fall down, and he's completely doesn't really care that I'm bleeding. It was just, I was like, how did this perfect, beautiful day turn into the worst date I have ever had? And then, of course, when we're walking through the dark, and we're in this park way after we should be because we're totally lost, and it's really scary. And then we finally get back to the car. Oh, and by the way, he had insisted that we not bring our phones on the hike. Then we have an hour and a half drive home. That was terrible. We never talked again either. It's horrible.
I have this really funny story, and, you know, that my girlfriend told me she was on set and she had bent down to tie her shoe. And there was this man standing in front of her, and he had a really tight jumpsuit on. And all of a sudden, he farted in her face, and it made I think it was a silent fart. Yeah, it was a silent fart, but it went right. All of a sudden, she's like, starts rubbing her eye. I guess he must have farted like right into her eye, and her eye started swelling up, and she had to call the medic. And, you know, her eye started turning red because this man farted in her face. And, you know, I think that's really disgusting. It's a total, like, you know, word of advice to a man. If, you know, you ever want to, you don't do that to a girl. Don't fart in her face and then turn around and ask for her phone number.
Awesome. Cut.
I love men so much I'm getting hot sitting here. Shut off that.
Crossing.
I don't love men, but I love men.
There you go.
That's, I think, why the sexual experience gets better over time. Don't you think?
Yeah, it does.
It's not like plug in, plug out.
And he's singing, and he's like, "Embrace the madness!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta go home. See you later. Thanks for dinner. Bye."